Since the invention of Sequoia's syllabary, Cherokee people have used our language to share news, connect our communities, and educate the public about our people. In this Cherokee Almanac, we follow the history and evolution of the Cherokee Nation's newspaper, The Advocate. Before the Indian Removal Act was passed, the Cherokee Nation published a newspaper in our eastern homelands called the Cherokee Phoenix.
19th century newspapers were very upfront about their political persuasions, and they were very upfront about what their purposes were. And the Cherokee Phoenix is no different. So its motto is very upfront about the fact that it's an advocacy organ for the Cherokee Nation.
During and after removal, the Cherokee Nation was unable to print the Cherokee Phoenix. When the Cherokee government reestablished itself in Indian Territory, Principal Chief John Ross pushed to create a new newspaper for our people called the Cherokee Advocate. The first issue was printed on September 26, 1844.
There were all types of stories that were being published in the Advocate newspaper. There were stories about the government, the Cherokee government, and what was going on with it, what laws were being passed, and also just the day-to-day life of citizens. It did touch on some national politics as well.
The newspaper was a tool to keep our citizens informed and educated. The use of our Cherokee syllabary emphasized the importance of our language.
It's imperative we keep the language everywhere if we can. If we don't have the language, we don't have anything beyond that.
Despite the importance of the Advocate, hard times brought financial struggles to the Cherokee Nation. Our government did not have enough money to continuously print the newspaper, and the Advocate would periodically cease printing operations.
The Civil War really destroyed a lot of our infrastructure and what we had built after forced removals. A lot of the money went toward needs rather than wants, like a newspaper.
At the end of the U.S. Civil War, the Cherokee Nation would begin Reconstruction, and the Advocate would return to print on April 26, 1870. The Advocate would continue to be printed for 5 years until another tragedy struck.
In 1875, when the Supreme Court building caught fire where the Advocate newspaper was being published, it pretty much gutted the building, and it also destroyed the printing press. And so this was very devastating for the Cherokees as well. This is our voice. This is how we're getting out information to not only our citizens, but also the rest of the people in the United States and even the world at this time.
In 1907, Oklahoma became a state, and Cherokee Nation's property was stripped from us and sold. Coupled with the selling of our government buildings, the Advocate's printing press was auctioned off.
We are in the historic Supreme Court Museum, where the newspaper was actually printed. And this is where the actual fire took place too. In 1875, it destroyed the press. The new press, or the press that was purchased after that, the one that disappeared for a while in the 1900s, is actually here in this building now. It's on loan from the Gilcrease Museum.
A new iteration of the Cherokee Advocate would begin to be printed in 1977 and would undergo a name change in 2000. During this time, the Cherokee Nation would be the first Native American tribe to adopt a Free Press Act. The Advocate is now called the Cherokee Phoenix and is still in print today.
We can't forget for a moment that the Cherokee Phoenix and the Advocate were this country's first bilingual, indigenous-led newspaper. And additionally, that's something that we should be proud of, both as it relates to our past, but also as it relates to our present.
I think the Cherokee Advocate, Cherokee Phoenix newspapers are a symbol of our sovereignty.
It's our voice. I mean, it's how we're able to communicate to not only our tribal citizens, but the world, really. It's the voice of the Cherokee people.